Good morning. I see a lot of people saying good morning for me this morning. Thank you all for joining us today on this wonderful show. And this show for me today means a lot, and it means a lot for me to share the show with you guys today because we are facing a time in our lives where we are, sitting in front of different kinds of situations. We're in COVID times, and in Africa, there's a lot going on in Africa, and it's a scary world at the moment. And just to have a bit of inspiration from someone out there that we don't know, and someone that could just give us a bit of light at the end of the tunnel is always a great thing. And today, our show is about going from ordinary to living your dream. And many of us out there have dreams, and we have dreams that we would like it to become a reality, but we just don't know how. We don't have the support, and we kind of feel that we are the only people out there and nobody's helping us out. So today I'm welcoming Rajan from my neighboring neighborhood, and Durban as well. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. And you, Natasha?
I'm good, thanks. Okay, so I've just explained to our viewers today that we are going through a difficult time in our lives at the moment. We've got a lot going on in the world. Africa, there's so much going on, and look at Mali, Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is, we've got a lot of shows on the 1873 that goes about what's happening in Zimbabwe. And to have someone like you that just can share that kind of bit of an inspiration, and just can motivate them, just to feel good for this moment, because these little moments that people feel good, it just kind of makes them who they are, and it makes them strive for more. You as well, you are young, you're part of the youth, and I know you for quite some time, and you have contributed so much towards your community and younger people that are like, you've got an amazing car that a lot of people find as motivation. For some people we'd be like, are you crazy? And for other people, you are an inspiration. You are something that lets them wake up in the morning. I've got my favorite fan Senora is with us today as well in the comments. Good morning to everybody that's watching, and good morning to everybody that's already said good morning. It's very, the show is very great today, and like I said, it's the topic of the show is going from ordinary living to living your dream. So, Rajan, I want to leave the floor to you. Could you just briefly introduce yourself, and let our viewers know who you are.
Hi, guys. So, as Natasha's mentioned, my name is Rajan. I'm actually from Durban, Bluff. Natasha reached out to me, and I gave this some thought, and it was something I actually felt both happy and interested in doing and sharing my stories, obviously, with you guys. Um, it's I'm actually a Microsoft engineer, but I've obviously all of us growing up wanting to do more, achieve more. To be honest, I grew up wanting to be an astronaut, so I'm not there. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, many
But
children grow up, believing astronauts and police and doctors and paramedics.
correct, correct.
No,
So
sorry.
no, that's perfect. So um, you know, I'm a strong believer in what you put out comes back. So what you put out into the world, life, um, the cosmos, everything comes back. Whether it comes back onefold or tenfold, but the positive energy you radiate will come back to you. That I learned from my mom. We used to drill that into my head growing up. Stop being negative. Be more positive. Smile more. And we started from very humble beginnings. Um, to getting to where we are now, and I say we, I'm talking specifically, I'm relating to myself, my immediate family. It's a real achievement. And myself personally, I grew up being a big dreamer, making car noises, running around the yard, those kind of things. Looking at pictures on the internet, wishing, oh wow, I wish this car is my favorite car. I wish I could own this. But basically, just being a big dreamer, and never realizing that it's possible to make your dreams come true. And it was about 10 years back. In fact, time has really flown. So a situation presented itself to me to allow me to actually make a dream of mine come true, which was actually owning my dream car. And I remember the day the car actually came home. Um, I bought I bought a second-hand vehicle, but it was my dream car. The day the car came home, I sat there crying in the driveway. I couldn't believe that this object is here in front of me. I could actually touch this. And it took me about 2 years of, don't be mistaken, I still use the taxi and I still use public transport. I'm still set in those ways. I've always enjoyed it. Those are the beginnings I've come from, and I'm actually still there. So I used to use a taxi to work and so on every day. Get back home, walk into the yard, look at the car, and like, this is really, yeah, this is real. So that went on for like about 2 years, of my own paranoia. Trying to realize that it took me many a year of my life, but at some point I was able to make a dream of mine come true. And my thing to people out there is, no matter how small or how big your dream is, dreams can always be achieved. Don't treat it purely as a dream, but take your dream and say to yourself, this dream is now a milestone. I want to achieve this. I'm putting this in my diary or wherever, mental note. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. Whether it be 1 year, 20 years from now, but I can get there. And I proved that to myself. And I was, like I said, my mom used to always drill it into my head to be positive. I was borderline positive sometimes, negative, the balance. Um, but after that, it really dawned upon me that any person can reach out and make a dream come true.
Mm.
So yeah, it's. I just want the viewers to know, reach for the stars, and you will get there. Don't sell yourself short. Anything is possible.
Perfect.
So
Thank you for that.
yeah,
I just got like goosebumps listening to your story. Knowing you for so long, you've always been an inspiration for me. Someone I can, reach out to when, things are going tough. And, you always shine that bit of positivity in my life that makes it, it's okay. It's a pattern back. Even though we are living, kilometers apart from each other, we don't get to each other as much as we would love to. But, that message that you just share with someone is great. Now, a topic I want to touch on is the fact that you are a photographer. Now,
yep.
people out there might think you're crazy, they say software engineer and now photographer, the thing is, if you go onto your social media or you go into Google and you search for a photographer, millions of them come up. Why is this an industry that you've touched? I mean, people would think like, my sister's a photographer or someone I know is a photographer. But why is that an industry you've touched? Because, people, like I said, people would think you're crazy because this is an industry that every second person is doing. What made you leave your ordinary life, become a photographer, and live your dream?
So that's a good one, Natasha. So again, I was that guy taking selfies with the phone, like a million selfies before I found one of me that looked good to use on my profile or whatever it be. So I've always had a passion for photography. The problem, however, was, again, uh, reaching for a dream sometimes is not always a tomorrow thing. It took me time to be able to actually save up some money and say to myself, okay, why don't I actually get myself a proper camera, And I've always had a keen eye for photography, taking photos of both myself and others, mostly myself. But
don't we all?
true. So I saved up a bit of money and I got myself an entry level camera at that time. It was at the bottom of the range. The chances are most people out there already non-photographers owned a better camera than me. And I said to myself, let me just start using this. And at this point, it was not a business. I was still going around family functions here, there, um, helping people out. Someone lets me know that they have a birthday party, they need photos taken, and I'm like, no, guys, you know what? I'm not a photographer, but I don't mind, coming and doing this. I have a good eye for what I'd like to gain or how the photo should look. So it started like that, and to be honest, from there I decided, you know what? Let me go onto Instagram. Let me try and turn this into some sort of an income, a business. And social media is such a strong platform, to get your message across, whether it be business or whether it be life. But in terms of communicating a message across, it is unbelievable as to how much of influence social media has, both on life and the decisions we all can choose to make. So I started an Instagram page. Obviously, not getting many followers because nothing happens overnight. You do get a lot of those scammers out there asking you to pay X amount and they give you X amount of followers, but those are all scams. So you got to do it the hard way. You got to work for it. You got to put in the effort. So when I had first started, my page was all over the place because remember, I'm just shooting photos of anything, whether it's a flower, a car, a birthday, and I had that content all onto my page. And I did a lot of research going forward, over the period of time. How do I increase my Instagram followers, or how do I actually get myself out there using social media? So Instagram has the amazing ability to actually write you and create a Facebook page once you have an Instagram account. So I made use of that feature. Instagram had then created me a Facebook page. Both my posts between Instagram and Facebook obviously are now identical because they both are on the same platform, same ownership, if that's the word I'm going to use. And it started to grow slowly. It's still growing. Don't be mistaken. I don't have millions of followers, but I am a work in progress. And a lot of what I've learned over time is social media is very influential. It's a matter of how do I go about it to actually get people influenced or interested in what am I offering or what do I have to offer. So it came down to things like cleaning up my page, trying to follow a specific photography style rather than doing every single thing. And I'm not, no word of lies. It's been such an amazing journey. Um, my name is actually getting out there in the industry, which I'm thrilled. It's not something I started off thinking could be done, but I always knew from the previous discussion that we had that you can reach for a dream and make it happen. It's just a matter of time. I've actually had the pleasure of randomly being called by a lady, and she says to me, I've looked you up. I saw you on Instagram. I like the work that I see. Can I do some work with you? And she gave me a date. So accent actually wasn't South African. So and I was like, okay, how do you have you moved to South Africa? Or I actually questioned her on the accent. She's actually a lawyer from the UK who actually came to South Africa for a holiday and decided she wants to do some shoots whilst here. And out of, like Natasha said, you Google photography, it's endless. The fact that she
Mm.
chose me out of the millions of options out there, I was chuffed. I was blown away. And, I think she may have also been my good luck charm because it took off for me from there. She carried it back to her to the UK and started posting images and said to people, I shot with this guy in Durban, South Africa. Is- and she had a lot of positive things to actually put out there with me. And from there, it started to flourish. And, I even didn't realize this, which I've learned very recently. Facebook actually has a review page that allows a client to write a review about you. So I had the pleasure of literally working with Ellie from Johannesburg recently, and she's an international model. Ellie actually, that was my first review. I got this message. I see, okay, there's a review, which I didn't know you could do these things. And she actually had such positive feedback about the experience, me as a person, me as a business, that I actually started to get other people contact me, knowing, okay, you did this work for Ellie. We'd like to do some work with you as well. So, I think the rule or the lesson to be learned here is always carry yourself well. Even when you're in your business, always still keep that level of professionalism. It takes just a second to tarnish your name, but it takes a lifetime to try and build it. So go out there, follow your dream. Anything is possible. Like I said, I started with an entry level camera. Don't don't be mistaken to think that right now I own one of the expensive ones, because I don't. I don't. Look, it's now a milestone for me, something I want to achieve. I obviously own, now I'm at an intermediate camera, so it's not the best thing out there, but it's not the entry level as well. And I'm slowly building equipment. So as my business brings in some kind of income, I decide, there's something nice I want to get that will help me with this business, whether it's additional lighting or anything that I may need,
Mm,
with regards to props. But it's been an exciting journey, and it still is. Um, the good thing about it is I get to meet people from different walks of life.
mm,
No two people are the same. Every client is different. And I try to pride myself on the experience that I give to a client. So I treat them to
mm.
chocolates, to champagne,
Oh well, we need to be
or
your
fruit
clients,
juices.
you need to come, you need to come to Joburg. So us in the studio, you can enjoy your your gifts. Okay, so
Definitely.
basically, what you've you've said, it's very inspirational, and once again, I can relate to it. We need to build by little, taking steps. Rome was not built in a day, and they
Correct.
took bricks and bricks and bricks and built of them. I've got a question here that that asks. And Matumwa is our, there's a mind behind the show, the 1873 radio, and he's built this amazing community which is called the C2C in Motion, and that is changing, connections to communities. And we've
Yes.
what we do in this initiative is we take people from out there and we bring them together as a community to exactly as you do. What we do is we kind of find a way to connect one another, because the world is a very big place, but obviously we don't know a lot of people. You can have a lot of followers, but yet
Yes.
the people that you know are very little. And obviously that's what the community is about. So he's actually wrote a very good little comment here that says that I was going to find it quickly here, is that Facebook's review page is actually an accelerator, which is great, because it takes whatever that testimonial or review that someone says, and it just builds you as a person. People could read it, and people will start using you, because if you're recommended, you're more likely to find a customer. Now, I've got a comment here that says, Senora says, my blood begins to flow fast, my head begins to roll, and my brains get to function better listening to great minds like you, Rajan. I'm a great dreamer too. I have great dreams out of this world, but I feel wasted. As a life coach myself, I see people come to you, and they feel that what they are doing is a waste of time. Surely doing what you were doing in the beginning, it kind of felt the same to you as well.
You're correct.
Would you
100%.
have any advice to, obviously, him and everybody else out there that's feeling the same?
Uh, you know, it's actually strange that he touched note on that, and it's 100% true for, I'd assume, most of us. And I think it just comes with being human. we start something, or we have an idea in our head, and we say to ourselves, should I do this? Or I'm just wasting my time, or I'm wasting the time of people that I may have involved in this initiative. And I'm always on that same road. That's that negativity in us that actually does talk out, and we all have a bit of that in us. But I'll leave you with something to think about. Sorry. Let's look at something very simple. A piece of wire. A piece of wire bent a few bends and made into what's called a paperclip. The person who took that piece of wire back then decided to bend this around and use it to hold a page or pages. I doubt at that time that person or individual would known that there is no way in the world and no house that there is a paperclip lying somewhere, whether it be in a cupboard, lying on the floor, lying on the table. There is a paperclip almost in every house or business in the world. And it's such a simple thing. I mean, I would have thought of that and said to myself, what a stupid idea. What a waste of my time. you know? But it became probably one of the greatest ideas. It's every way you turn, you might not even realize it, but there's one lying somewhere in your cupboard right now, or in the bottom of a drawer, and it's such a simple thing. So my thing is, um, don't look at the glass half empty, look at it half full, and proceed to fill the rest of the glass. Make if you don't take the chance, you actually never get to know what could have been the outcome. So instead of trying to, you come a year later and then you ask yourself that, what if? So don't put yourself into that position. In fact, that year prior, see it through and find out for yourself what the what if is. It could have turned out to be the greatest thing you've ever done. So with this photography, I tend to do a lot of free work as well. Not everything is billed. If I do a free work for people that I know need my help or need guidance, I actually tutor people as well with photography. So I take them on shoots with me, let them get the feel of it. It's things that I say I give out. I'm not going to say to the community as a whole, but to people who are interested and need help or want to learn. I'm always available. But with regards to that specific question, don't lose track of any dream that crosses your mind. We all know our best ideas come in the shower.
Of course, we talk to ourselves, so it sounds like our piece of mind, a bubble.
Yes, to be honest, in the shower, I'm a brilliant singer. In my head, it actually sounds like the original artist. To someone else, it might sound like a cat screaming, but follow your dream. True. So no, you know what? Follow your dreams. See things through. No idea is a bad idea. Everything sounds like a waste in the beginning, but think of it again. Turns out to be one of the greatest out there. I don't know if that helps or help put things into perspective a bit.
All right, so this is a true thing, and Motumwa is paraphrasing what you say. The more I volunteer, the luckier I become, which is true, because the more you give to the community, and this is what we're doing with the C2C in Motion. Is this is not a thing where people, we are building a strong foundation where we volunteer. To come to the show, I'm contributing my time, and this is my way of volunteering towards the C2C. Inspiring people. Every morning at 10, we've got the virtual coffee show where we invite guests like yourself and other kind of guests to the show to share their stories, because to share your story could be, for some people it could be a waste of time, but for others it could be a door that's opening. We can get so many great ideas from other people's stories, and it kind of just motivates us. And that's why I love stories. Stories have a way of finding the ways into my heart, and I might not act to them immediately, but I act to them eventually. I'll be like, I was told the story just the other day, and I kind of just take it from there. So yes, the more you volunteer, the luckier you become, and the more you become part of a community, the better.
Correct.
People can, get to know you. So now Mutumo has asked a question here, and he says, would you want to be part of the C2C photography network? Once again, this is a network where you can become part of, and you can basically share your experiences. You can mentor. The community is a lot about mentoring one another, because
Yes.
we have people from different kind of sectors. You've got marketing, you've got, you've got legal, we've got, there's so many people that are part of this community. And when one becomes part of it, we have the opportunity to mentor people. We mentor people to become the best they are. If you can't mentor them in your industry, but your stories could mentor them. Your stories could give them the opportunity to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So the question, it's like a marriage proposal, yeah? Would you want to
I
become part
agree.
of the community?
No, Mutuma, thank you. I actually will take you up on that offer. I would
Great,
love
great.
to be a part of the community. Um, and you're 100% correct. Again, it comes down to, you know, what you put out, you get back. The universe
Mm,
gives that back to you. Whether you get it back in the joy from your heart, whatever it be, but what you put out, you get back. And I 100% agree. Do what you can to help people, help the community, and if everyone can do that and everyone can play that part, the world will be so much a better place. There's a saying in my culture, and it's service to humanity is service to God.
mm,
So it literally means do what you can for your fellow person, or people of the world. That kind of service is service to God. What you are doing is worldly God's work.
mm.
Love everyone, love the neighbor, love the person even down the road in the next country. I'm happy to join this initiative with you guys.
Perfect.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
I can add to you, and this is what Mutumo, he keeps on, inspiring us to say that we all are human. It doesn't matter
Yes.
our race. You Indian, I'm white, Mutumo is black, Um, I think you're the first Indian on our show, actually, which is
Yay.
yeah, it's pop the champagne. But it doesn't matter who we are, where we come from, what our bank accounts look like. We all are the exact same person. We are human, and we all are brothers and sisters to one another in some way. And once again, we need to at times we need to put our differences apart. We need to put our differences aside and say, you know what, I'm woman, you're a man, but we came into Earth the exact same way, and we're going to leave Earth the exact same way. But this is what makes us humankind. And if we could just think at humankind level, we can do great things together, and we can, we can build Romes. We can build a Rome everywhere we go by standing together. Now, here's another question from Mutumo: is Rajan, what do you think is the problem that inspired the first photographer in the history of mankind?
um, sure. That's a good one. So obviously, I'm going to answer this. Obviously, with no actual knowledge of this, but from my opinion, um, other than the equipment that they were using, let's start there. Photography was a thing where if I say pause and you say cheese, you'd be saying cheese for maybe a minute or so before that photo is actually taken. So it's not like these days, you come in there, I snap a pic, and we're good to go. It's more like you got to hold that position for quite some time before the actual mechanics could actually transform and put a picture back to a negative. So I think that was issues that early photographers would have had back in the day, or at the start of photography itself. Um, Other than that, we've come a long way from there now. So yeah, that's what I could have seen as an issue. And obviously, if you look at size of the equipment, they weren't actually as mobile as we are now. We got a camera even on a phone. They literally had this equipment. They had to go and set it up. It was almost like a big box. It wasn't like on the fly. I could suddenly turn left, turn right, take a photo. If I did that, I had to tell the guy who was running, please stop in that position, hold that pose. I'm trying to take a picture, you know?
Mm.
So, yeah, I think that would have probably been the biggest issue for early photographers at the start of the photography era.
Okay, perfect. You know, you actually are inspiration to our viewers today because people are really, connecting to you somehow. Yeah, we've got another comment. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Rajan. I trust that will provoke the minds of many listeners here. Surely it will make a difference. You have changed the lives of many. You are great motivational speakers. You're flushing out the brains that invisible animal procrastination. This is so true what he says. And this is once again an interesting comment because this is what the CTC is about. It's
Mm.
motivating people. We are not trained motivational speakers, but
Yeah,
speaking from the heart, speaking from what's inside, and for people to hear your story out there. Like I say, for some people it could be a waste of time, and for many, like Senora, it
yes,
is something that inspires them, it motivates them. And today is a great day we chose because today's
yes.
Thursday. I know a lot of people feel this Puza Thursday, but for others, it is a motivation for them to go into the weekend. Yes, we had a tough week behind us. Some people have lost their job, some
Yeah,
people have had death in the family. When we go through these difficult times, sometimes we just need that little bit of motivation, that little bit of hope that we can
true.
just shine onto others and they will feel better going through what they are going through. Let me see, I've got, there's a couple of comments are really coming in here. Let's see. Here's another one. Here's another, looks like a marriage proposal for you. Very interesting. So Rajan, can I do some work with you, or can I give you some work to do? There you go. Another marriage proposal for you online.
Sanjaro, thank you for the previous comment. I'm actually blushing. You don't see it, but I am. Yeah, you know what? I'll be really keen. Please feel free to reach out to me.
Mm. Well, we're going to make you part of the community, and then
Yeah.
everybody that's in our community, we've got a beautiful array of people that are part of our community. We've got we've actually have people from the USA part of our community. We've got people from
Wow.
Australia. So we've got such a global network, and we like
Mm.
you growing your network and your your personal community with people following
Yeah.
you. We are doing the same, and we are reaching out. We've got people from Africa, which is great. I think by listening to this, and we're going to share this, on all our social media, is that people will find it inspiring not just today, but they will find it inspiring for the next weeks to come. Eos Motumwe says, thank you for agreeing to be an ambassador of change. We need many more people like you out there. People like you inspire other people to become you, and people out there who see you not just wants to become like you, but want to make a change like you do, which is great. And thank you so much for your contribution today. Here we go, another one. I love these comments from Matumwa because he's such a he's an inspiring man. He's a
I
man
see that from these comments.
he's been through a lot in life, and I've known Matumwa for about 11, 12 years, and he's always been an inspiration for me. He's been the person that is my mentor to become successful. He's a successful man, and he's a very wise man. Here's a comment. Imagine an island in which you are the only photographer. Would there be an incentive to excel as an individual?
That's most definitely. That's a definite yes. Um, I think being the only photographer, I think you've already excelled. You've monopolized the market. But then it also gives you now more leg room, more opportunity to reach out to people, to be able to um, help people in masses. As opposed to l- many hands make the work lighter. That's a true story. So being one person from a business perspective, it is phenomenal.
Mm,
Uh, but from from being more realistic, I'll never be able to reach out to the needs of every single person. Like I might get 1,000 people suddenly contact me, being the only photographer, and say, "Hi, Rajan. We need some work done, and it's for tomorrow." I
mm,
mean, it's impossible. So I'd rather use that opportunity and develop more people, and then I have many other people doing the same thing, whether we're working together as a joint venture, a team, or as individuals. The work becomes lighter. Now I can actually, someone can phone me, and it might be two people. I can manage that as opposed to 1,000 people just contacting me. So there is an incentive to excel, both as an individual, but it will be destined for failure as I
Mm.
cannot meet the demand. So I'd rather empower others to be able to either assist me or assist themselves in terms of, photography.
Once again, we're coming back to building a community. It's yeah, you are building a community by way of thinking. You've got the experience, but you can teach others to do what you do. So once again,
Correct.
embracing the fact of communities, embracing that by if you've got the knowledge, nothing stops you from making people think the way you think. Once again, it's someone's choice. But if people have the same mindset as you are and they have the same goal and they have the same dream, why not become a mentor for those who want to excel and be like you are? Yeah, we've got a quiz for you actually.
100%.
Today is like a little game show on the show. It's very interesting show. I think a lot of our people are enjoying the show. Roger, the quiz of the day. What do you think 1873, the name of the radio station, means?
To be very honest, Mutumwa, I actually don't know. And I wondered to myself, why the random digits, this is where I'm going to let you totally school me and explain this to myself and probably listeners or viewers out there that are also unaware of where this name actually stems from.
Okay, so I think I do have kind of like it's been told before, and I think I do have kind of understanding, is
Yeah.
that the 1 and the 3 makes 13 if you put them together, and then 1 and 8 makes 9. Okay,
Yes.
I've got it here. 1 plus 8 makes 9,
Hmm.
and then 7 plus 3 makes 11.
7 plus 3 makes 10.
Oh, sorry, 10. Sorry, I can't count today. Okay. Okay, I'm a mom, I've got like still brain moms. But what is 1 plus 8? It's 9. Here we go. Okay. And 7 plus 3 is 10. Sorry, 11. No, I got to 11. Okay, we've got.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got
What is the
9, 10,
difference?
1.
1.
The
So
difference is 1.
one person, one community.
Is this stems from one person can make a difference?
You're going to find out now. We're waiting for him to comment. It's like a little game show today. We need the drum roll to come.
Why it's keeping me waiting in anticipation.
So the difference is 1.
I'm leading towards one person can make a difference. Or one world, one people.
Here we go. We celebrate the power of 1. How inspiring is that, eh?
Awesome. Awesome.
How inspiring is that? Let's celebrate the power of 1.
So
You're
now
one
that
person
name
can make
totally
a
makes
difference.
sense to me.
One person is complete. It just takes one person to make
Correct.
a change. One person to here you guys again. An individual is a driver of change. Yes, one person can make many follow. One person can make people lead. One person can make people change lives.
100%.
A person is this is the right comment, yeah?
Indivisible.
Yes, and that.
Correct.
Yeah. One person.
That's 100%. It starts with just one. Everything starts with one person, whether it be one idea, and one person can make or lead to change.
Mm.
And what I touched base with you earlier, Natasha. Um, service to humanity is service to God. It takes one person to want to help another, and if that builds, eventually every person helps every other person, and we then live in a much more beautiful world. You
True.
know, even with regards to this, social media, Natasha, plays such a vital role. Um, there are people out there who have followers in the millions. If they had to put out something positive or even something negative, there is that many million of people that have now perceived that or either want to do that or want to action that. If someone with a million followers put out a post saying, I'd like everyone to please greet a stranger walking past you. Okay, but difficult now with Corona, but let's
Yeah.
assume we weren't in this situation. But greet a person walking past you. It doesn't have to be someone you know. Whoever's walking past you. If 2 million people read that, and 2 million people said, "I follow this person," I want to do this, and 2 million people went outside and greeted a total stranger. We basically then now have 4 million people that have basically greeted each other.
Mm.
And that's the kind of impact social media can make both on a positive and a negative end, depending what gets
Mm.
put out there. So yeah, and it starts with one person.
Yes, it's the same with community building,
100%.
I brought you to the show today so you can inspire people and like-minded people. And yes, you've agreed to become part of our initiative, which is, it's great. And I know that you're going to go out there and you are going to inspire other people to become a part of our initiative too, because you know that from your connection and your group of people and your friends, that there are many people out there who are just like you and who have just like you have the drive and the motivation to go out and inspire people daily. Now, there's one last question before we give final thoughts, and that is from Matumo. Sorry, I've got the wrong one. Yeah, it's from Matumo as well. The power of images in the affairs of mankind. Imagine the role of photographers in the human kingdom. So basically, if animals were photographers. Do you agree that Facebook is no more than a book of faces or a bank of faces?
So I would actually lean more towards Facebook is not just a book of faces. It is a bank of faces. When I use the term bank of faces, I'm leaning more towards a repository. Um, sorry, hold on 1 second for me. I just need to cut the call that's ringing on the other end. No, that's fine. Yeah, so I'd say it's more a bank of faces. Reason being, it's a repository. It's a collection of people, communities, not 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 just faces. It's not just one-on-ones. We have it becomes Facebook is a community, and I'll lean towards the word bank on this. I
Okay,
don't
well,
know if I'm on the same page as Mutumwa in terms of the chain of thought on this.
well, this show is not about judgment. We embrace people's different opinions and we will embrace people's their views on life, because no one out there has got the same view. Yes, we've got two sides to a story, but we have a million views to a story.
Yeah.
So there's another one here that one creates an extra day in a week. Number one, it raises. So for all our viewers out there today, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's been an inspirational show, and it's been, we have managed to add one more person to our community, the C2C in Motion community. One more person that can change lives. Like Mutuma says and Rajan says, one person. It takes one person to drive change. It makes one person to motivate people, and it takes one person to make your day. So from my side, yes, one person. And it's just like I say, it just takes one person to so I was reading a comment here, one person to make a change. If you smile to one person, that person's going to smile to another one. And we can't do it now because we're wearing masks, but it's kind of weird. Even on Facebook, just smile at someone on Facebook. It makes people's days. Sharing a special quote. It also it just shows people that there is someone out there. There is, we're living in an age at the moment where we are locked in our houses. We are running away from something we cannot see. We are running away from something we cannot feel. And, during these times, we tend to get alone and we tend to feel alone. And, this makes life very difficult, especially for those people who do not have family or friends around them. And, I would like to challenge everybody that's watching and listening today to take that one step, and just smile, Facebook smile for someone. I don't know how you're going to do it. You just say hi. Just say hello. I hope you're having a good day. Just one person. And I promise you'll make a difference in someone's life. Okay, so Rajan, do you have any final words for us today?
I'd like to say firstly, Natasha and team, thank you for having me on the show. I've actually really enjoyed this. I like the effort being put in. I'm actually glad and pleased to be part of your guys' community going forward. We all can achieve great things. This was actually very insightful for me. Something new, something different. And thank you so much again for having me on the show.
Perfect. All right. So from my side, viewers, if you really would like to be like Rajan and you want to become part of the C2C, please just drop us a message in the social media. On Facebook, we've got Facebook happening here. We've got YouTube, and then a couple of other. And if you are part of the C2C or you are part of the radio station, please do visit our website as well. You can obviously drop a comment there. If you would like to be like Rajan to make a difference, and if you would like to be on the radio, please do contact us as well to share your story, because this is what it's about. It's about sharing our stories and inspiring others with what we have been through and what we have achieved in life. So from my side, have a wonderful Thursday, everyone, and keep on inspiring those people out there, because they are the people that we need to inspire, and they're the people who need us the most. One smile goes a very long way. So from my side, have a lovely Thursday, everyone, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at the 10 o'clock virtual coffee show. Have a good day,
Awesome.
Rajan.
Thanks. Cheers, Natasha.
Bye.
Bye, people.